world's population is close to reaching 8 billion people. 8 billion people! Think about that for a second. With most of us congregated in small areas, we end up being part of a crowd on a daily basis. In fact, you're all part of a crowd right now. And when we become part of a crowd, we experience something called the diffusion of responsibility. When you're walking down the street and you see a piece of trash, you see a fight, you see a car crash, you see a hurt animal, you're more likely to stop and take a moment to help if you're alone. When we experience the same situation in a crowd, we falter because we don't want to be judged. We don't want the responsibility. We don't think we're qualified. This is the bystander effect. The likelihood of someone taking action in an emergency situation is inversely proportional to the amount of people in a crowd. With the rise of social media, it's become more common to see people filming a troubled situation than actually offering to help. In fact, in a study conducted by Latney and Darley, it was found that in a non-threatening emergency situation, only 31% of people offered help in an emergency situation when in groups of 4 bystanders. In groups of 2, it was 64%. However, when the person was alone and they believed they were the only person able to help, 85% did so. That's astounding. We experience the bystander effect on a regular basis, and we can recognize this by the amount of times we've said the words, "Why didn't anyone do anything about this?" But the truth is, we're somebody too. The world's problems are growing, not because we don't have the resources to undo them, but because we lack the initiative to face them. Big problems like climate change are problems that affect every human on this planet. Yet, how many of us can say that we're actively doing something to help? Even something small. The human race is not heartless. We care for our planet. We want to see it thrive. I want to see it thrive. I know you want to see it thrive. So, what's stopping us? Well, there's actually 3 things stopping us. The first is a diffusion of responsibility. When we're in a crowd, we expect the person to our right to help, or the person to our left to do something. But we have to realize that we are just as capable as the people beside us. The second is ambivalence. We're not really sure what we should do, or what we can do, so we just don't do anything at all. And the third is fear of judgment. We're too absorbed in what other people are doing, or too worried about what other people will think of us in order to do something. And all of these make us feel like our hands are tied, leaving us a bystander in the situation. We're left doing what I call toasting marshmallows on a burning world. Simply taking the best personal course of action, which is not doing anything, instead of putting in the effort to address the issue, because we expect someone else to fix it for us. We wait for someone with a magic lamp to make a wish. However, we have to realize that we are all powerful individuals capable of creating real positive change within our communities. So, who's ready to go out there and be an initiator? Wait. How do you do that? Well, I have good news for you. You're already halfway there. The first step is simply to recognize the bystander effect. So, you're doing that right now. And then you must notice the emergency situation and that action is necessary. So when you're suntanning on the beach, you have to realize that, oh no, there might be someone flailing their arms, drowning in the ocean. You have to notice them and realize that they need help. Then you must realize that you are a person that is capable of helping them. The second step is to assume the responsibility. So you have to decide that you will be the person that will help them and evaluate the best course of action. So in a situation like the previous example, you might be a really good swimmer, so it might be really easy for you to get out there and do your thing. But in something like the iconic example of the bystander effect, the Kitty Genovese murder, in which a woman was murdered outside her apartment in a prolonged knife attack while 38 people did nothing to help. They simply watched. In a situation like that, it makes sense to stop and evaluate, just as long as we don't forget to act. Which brings me to the very last step. You must act. You must do it. Execute your heroic plan. One person cannot change the world, but the world can change because of one person. You see, all the people who changed the world, while they worked hard day and night to bring about the change, they could never have done it alone. The reason they succeeded was because they were the initiators. They were the ones who set off the domino effect. They were the ones who stopped being bystanders. So, stop toasting marshmallows on a burning world. All it takes is one moment of courage, one person, and the whole bystander effect completely crumbles. We're left with collaborative effort for good cause. If we can take the stage instead of being witnesses in the audience, we can solve any of the world's problems. It's time to put those marshmallows aside. Thank you.